Calls case People State of Michigan versus Julie Bombashell.
Your Honor, I appreciate the court's accommodation. I had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Fong-Fachan. I discussed bond violations that have come to the court's attention since Ms. Fong-Fachan's last appearance before the court. Ms. Fong-Fachan.
Well, that, as well as the continued lie.
Of course, Your Honor.
This is not just another bond violation hearing. This is a case where defiance, dishonesty, and social media collide head-on with the authority of the court. The defendant stands accused not only of repeated violations, but of treating judicial orders like suggestions instead of commands. What unfolds here is a judge methodically dismantling excuses, calling out manipulation, and drawing a hard line between accountability and chaos. Stay with us, because what starts as a request for mercy quickly becomes a courtroom reality check.
And Ms. Fong-Fachan is going to apologize to the court. She's going to admit that what the court has been made aware of, her participation on a video podcast.
Okay, let's just get it all right. Here's the stupidity of this individual. I lock her in jail because she was lying to me and violating her conditions. One of her first calls from the jail leads to a podcast. Am I right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
But then gets here and runs a ruse that she's really making the calls regarding her two children. Then, so not only does that then go on social media, there's then another one on social media shortly after when she was arraigned, where she was violating her bond condition at that time. I've yet to figure out why she doesn't have a medical marijuana card if that's what she wants to do. But she doesn't, and then just continues to use. Lied to community corrections, then lied to me. So she gets put in, then makes within that week at least 41 calls that we see, but there were actually additional ones. Then can't wait a day after being released. Violates my order again.
And Your Honor, that is my understanding of where we are today in its entirety. And Ms. Fong-Fachan admits to all of those things. She did go into custody. She placed upwards of 120 to 130 phone calls, one of which was to a podcast. And I think that demonstrates to the court that her statements that she learned her lesson in custody, it may hinder that because Ms. Fong-Fachan was laughing, joking on a podcast.
Oh, yeah, she was. She thought it was all a game.
Of course.
And guess what? You can think it's a game. It's a game with me that you will never win.
Understand.
Ever. No, I don't think you do.
This moment is critical. From a legal standpoint, bond is a privilege, not a right. The court has already shown leniency by allowing pre-trial release despite prior violations. But here, the judge is highlighting a pattern, lying to community corrections, lying to the court, and immediately violating conditions upon release. Phone records, podcast appearances, and social media activity are now being used as evidence of non-compliance. This is where judicial patience starts wearing thin, and credibility, once lost, becomes nearly impossible to restore.
No. Your Honor, that was the first week she was in custody. The following week, she lost phone privileges. She was released from custody, at which point she came before the court, apologized for what happened leading up to that.
Lied to Mr. Feaster, so Mr. Feaster would lie to the court.
Your Honor, I think Ms. Fong-Fachan understands that pretrial release is a matter of grace, and that for her to remain on pretrial release, she has to demonstrate to the court that she is going to comply with her bond conditions. She has had a turbulent journey on her bond so far. She's had several violations. There are renewed violations. She admits to all of those. She would ask the court to
including that the THC cookies, the time release THC cookies was a lie.
Ms. Fong-Fachan understands that that story is not feasible. That when you inspect the claim that was made at her first probable cause conference, that it doesn't make any sense. And she'll admit that today to the court. That a number of things she said leading up to this have not made sense and have turned out to be false. And when a person, anyone puts himself in that position, you have to tell lies and lies and lies to kind of undo what you've done so far. I think Ms. Fong-Fachan wants to ask the court for a clean start, to come clean as to...
I thought we did that the last time. This is almost the same spiel I was getting last time, right before she got out and on film. Dre.
Right.
God only knows why you'd be mixing anything with Red Bull, but what the heck?
Understood, Your Honor. And she did drink. There's a video of her doing it. You don't deny.
There is.
And what she's going to ask the court to consider is continuing her bond, upwards modification, that she be placed on a other monitor alcohol use, that she submit to ETG testing to monitor her alcohol use, and that she cease using social media while this case is pending. Ms. Fong-Fachan is serious about resolving this matter. She's serious about taking care of her two children. Daughters Maddie and Ayana have upcoming birthdays on the 28th of March and on the 2nd of April. I know
it would be horrible if she's in jail on their birthday.
It would, yeah.
But it doesn't seem to me that she was really caring about them all this time anyway.
No,
she would have never put herself in the jeopardy that she's in right now.
Of course, Your Honor. I know her children are her primary concern more than anything else, that she's asking the court in a final act of grace to permit her to remain out of custody, continue her bond with those modifications, comply. And Ms. Fong-Fachan can address the court and come clean about any violations of bond leading up to today.
Go ahead. What does she want to tell me? Mr. Allen.
I just wanted to apologize for starting off with a bad start with you. Hope that start over. I did my time for bond violation for 2 weeks. I messed up the first week. The second week you revoked my phone privileges. I learned my lesson. I had some time to think about what I've done, and I figured it out. I did have that cup of alcohol on the podcast. I truly thought that it was just no smoking weed, but I didn't know alcohol was a problem. But now I know. I do not have an alcohol problem. I was just drinking.
How am I supposed to know that?
You don't.
You don't. That now you've learned your lesson.
I know.
Tell me how I should know that.
I know that anything that I say, you probably won't believe because we started off poor, badly.
Oh, and you lied.
Yes, Your Honor.
Not just little lies, big lies. Every step you've gone, you've been lying. So tell me why I should believe you now.
I don't have a reason or any excuse to argue with that. I understand.
Your Honor, I think Ms. Fong-Fachan knows it's not about what she says, it's about what she does. And what she's done leading up to this has not instilled confidence in the court that she's going to comply. We're asking the court to give her an opportunity to demonstrate that she's going to comply with the court's orders and present herself as a candidate at the conclusion of this case.
I know you're upset at me.
Oh, I'm not upset because I definitely get to go home today. So I'm not really upset. Go ahead. What did you want to say? You just think this is all a game. That's what your problem is. You do. You think this is all a game.
I can say definitely I didn't take it seriously the first week. The second week after I stayed in, I had a lot of time to think.
About what?
About, my actions before, during, now, after the fact, even having a drink. And I guess if you want to put me back in jail, I deserve it.
Yeah, you do. You have a CPL?
Yes.
Lost it. You know what? That you
Not
can't
really.
be smoking and have a CPL. That's probably another form you lied on. How bad do you want to make this get? Anyway?
Can you say that again?
How bad do you want to make this get? Because if you want to take this thing and make it the worst experience you've ever had in your life, I'll be more than happy to indulge you.
I don't.
So whose rules are we going to play by?
Yours, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Problem is, I don't know that you know how to do so right. I think somebody that lies as much as you do about everything, it seems, and just kind of does what you want to do. But you've probably been doing this your whole life. And that's why you can't change.
Say a couple of things.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, Miss Hughes.
I understand. Sorry. Your Honor said something very interesting. You probably always done this way, so that's why it's so hard to ask. This behavior is exactly what this case is about.
What you're witnessing now goes beyond a single incident. This is the prosecution framing behavior as character evidence. The repeated lies, defiance of police instructions, and hostile interaction during arrest all reinforce the court's concern that the defendant operates by her own rules. Judges are trained to assess patterns, not promises. And when a defendant openly challenges authority, interrupts officers, and dares law enforcement to escalate, it sends a powerful signal. one that weighs heavily when deciding whether public trust and safety outweigh personal hardship.
She's charged with R&O. She's charged with malicious destruction of the building. She went to her ex-boyfriend's business and kicked his front door of his business. The police arrived. She started lying that she had just got there, that she hadn't picked in the front door, that she didn't know what was going on. The police wanted to conduct their investigation, so they asked her to just wait in her car. That's all they asked her to do. Ma'am, can you just wait in your car? And she took this as an opportunity to defy them rather than just listen to them. She told them, if I'm not doing nothing, I don't need to go to my car. They asked her again, please go to your car. She decided to cut off Officer Cunningham, not allowing him to speak. He said, well, you can either wait in your car or you can wait in my car. She said, take me to jail. Fuck it. Yes, go ahead. Take me to jail. So I instructed her to put her hands behind her back, of what Officer Cunningham's report says. She then began to verbally and physically defy Officer Cunningham to the point that Officer Baldwin, another Ann Arbor officer, had to get involved. When Officer Baldwin approached, the defendant turned to Officer Baldwin and pulled her left hand away and said, don't make me swing on you, to a police officer. So yes, this is what she does. She lies and she wants to play by her own rules. So by continuously violating Your Honor's orders, this is just a game at this point. Your Honor, I'm asking that you remand her. I'm asking that her bond be revoked and that no bond be set this time.
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Fong-Fachan, as the court knows, is a mother. She was previously employed at the University of Michigan, stocking shelves. She lost that job when she was remanded to custody, and I know that she is seeking reemployment. Ms. Fong-Fachan fully understands that the consequences of her actions.
Does she, though? Does she? I mean, I don't know anything about what was necessarily alleged in the case other than the charges, right? And then to hear that recitation of what this case is about and then look at this defendant's behavior, does she really? And I don't know why these kids keep coming up as some shield, because it appears to me everything she's doing has nothing to do with them. She's just running her world. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Your Honor, Ms. Fong-Fachan has faithfully attended all of her court hearings. I believe that with added conditions of alcohol monitoring, that the court's concerns about her drinking be suppressed. I know it's difficult to address the court's concerns about Ms. Fong-Fachan's dishonesty. I believe she's come before you today and been honest about her past conduct and the conduct even after she was released from custody before court today. I'm asking the court to consider continuing her bond with those added conditions. Ms. Fong-Fachan will test today and tells me she will test clean.
Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Dr. Young, anything else?
Well, I can speak. I just wanted to say sorry. I've made some mistakes that day when it happened. I didn't necessarily just kick in the door. It was more to it inside. And it just escalated. I was upset. I didn't mean to harm or disrespect Officer Cunningham. I didn't mean for it to escalate that way. And I hope that I can apologize and make it right. I'm trying to. since this has happened, it's my life is in shambles. I'm trying to figure it out. Being in jail I get to sit and think about my actions and, actually learn from them. But being in there, I can't get things done. I have to figure out getting another job, paying the bills. Not that you care, but I'm trying. I'm trying to make it every court date. I quit smoking weed. If I can be placed on an alcohol tether or have to drop for, urine. I ask, can you still give me another chance?
And you said something very interesting. You said, I don't care. Not that I care.
Just now?
Yeah, that's a funny thing. Because actually, about everybody that comes before this court, I care. I do. Maybe sometimes to my detriment. I do care. I don't understand your stupidity. Just don't get it. And you're asking me to give you another chance. You got the first chance when you were first out. Put you in. I bring you back. And you put me in a position where I can't give you another chance. So then you're in there another week. Told me that day, you and Mr. Feaster, you had learned everything and you were going to be able to conduct yourself by the court rules and everything else. You don't you don't make it 24 hours. And you all think you just think that all of this is a joke. Don't get to just have your way because you want to have your way. Always. There's a bigger bullet. But if you think I am going to tolerate this, wrong judge.
I know.
I do not like sending people to jail, but I'm going to do my job. And if you can't cooperate, if you can't just do the simple things that are asked, none of this stuff is hard. None of it. But if you've got to pretend to all these folks that this doesn't bother you and you're just too cool for any of this, you're just going to make it, well, okay, so be it. You can sit up there and be everybody's hero. So, Mr. Warren Green, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjourn her preliminary examination. I'm adjourning her preliminary examination till 23rd, 2024 at 9. That is before me. I will give you the opportunity to certainly push him before this court, this defendant's release. But for today, she's going.
In the end, the court reaches a difficult but deliberate decision. The judge makes it clear accountability cannot be conditional and compliance cannot be optional. Bond is revoked, strict monitoring is imposed, and the message is unmistakable. The courtroom is not a stage, and justice is not a game. This case is a powerful reminder that actions speak louder than apologies, and credibility is earned through consistency, not words. If you found this courtroom breakdown insightful, hit the like button, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more real-world legal analysis and jaw-dropping courtroom moments.
Defendant's bond is hereby revoked pending a motion hearing. Defendant is released from jail. She will go on an alcohol scram test.
Thank you, Your Honor.
They just took somebody back, so I can't break it. Mr. Warren Green, if you have that, you can set that on a Wednesday for any type of motion hearing on a Wednesday. You do that. It's on a Wednesday, so Miss Perroni and Miss no, Barroso's not going to help. Miss Coons. Miss Perroni, Miss Coons can help you.